This episode featuring Michael Rapaport is brought to you by ZipRecruiter.
When you're hiring, posting your job on just one site, it just isn't enough.
You got to do that one.
Okay.
I'm not doing that long-ass paragraph, and then I'll do the last two.
All right, CC, I'll do the long-ass paragraph. With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to 100-plus job sites with just one click. Let ZipRecruiter's powerful technology match your job to the right candidates and use their simple dashboard to find your perfect hire.
In fact, 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just 24 hours.
So try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Tribune. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Tribune. Well, CC, as you well know, baseball season is in full swing, and the New York Yankees are keeping their eye on the ball.
And as things are heating up, there's nothing better to quench your thirst than an ice-cold, refreshing Pepsi.
So if you're going to the ballpark for a tailgate or you just plan on watching the game from home with a couple of buddies, be sure to grab a Pepsi.
Because it pairs perfectly with game day grub like hot dogs, burgers, brats, pizzas, peanut, and popcorn.
Thirsty yet?
So remember, when you're stocking up on Pepsi, complete your roster with other delicious options like Diet Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Well, I like the idea of Pepsi Zero Sugar.
I like that.
Gonna have to check it out. It's sure to be a winning lineup. Pepsi is a proud sponsor of the New York Yankees and this podcast. But it's true. When the reality is 99% of those people, you engage them in person.
Never.
It's, I'm your biggest fan or whatever.
You're my biggest fan. Get the fuck out of here. And then they get mad because I'll talk shit back. Like, I had, like, some guy say some crazy shit to me, and he's got a picture of his kid. And I didn't even look at the picture, but I'm like, yo, your kid is cockeyed. And they're like, why would you say something about my kid? Why would you say something? That's fucked up. Fuck you, you little
Fuck
fucking.
you.
And fuck your dog, too.
Well, today we are at Yankee Stadium, but an unfamiliar spot to you,
place
CC.
that I've never been.
You have never been
This is a
here.
great spot, bro.
This is the press box.
This is what you see, huh?
This is my view.
This is sick.
This is the broadcast booth of Yankee Stadium. This is where I watch you get angry when people try and bunt on you, man. Right here. This is where I do it. This is where I do it. Speaking of people who know how to express emotion, we have a friend of yours and mine, Michael Rapaport, in with us today.
I actually like to be called a competitor with CC.
I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah,
I swear,
I am a friend,
thing.
but say if you're gonna say friend, say and competitor.
It's not really a competitor though, because I'm the champ.
Fine, but
So it's no
it's fine to
competition.
say
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
But like friend and / competitor / rival.
I'm good with that. It's not a rival. It's not a rival if you never win.
Ooh, I can tell this
It's
is going to be good.
It's only a rival if you win a game.
So Mike and I became friends by him coming on with Rothenberg and I when we used to host together. And it would always amaze me that he could be on Instagram, dropping F-bombs every other word. And then he'd get in the setting of ESPN and he'd know exactly how to toe the line without crossing it.
Yeah, who do you think is the real me?
I don't know which one's the real you.
Is it the the PC 11 version, or maybe the cursing guy is just a character?
I think you're.
Nah, I think the cursing guy is you.
Which one is it?
I've always been a cursor my whole life. I've always cursed. It's part of who I am. I really think it's a part of being a New Yorker. But I've always cursed. I got in trouble for cursing since I was really young in school and all that stuff. So, but now that I'm older and I know I can control myself, it's just when I'm flowing, that's just how I talk. And obviously you could use it for effect, but it's and the Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, that's just, to me, it's like a freedom of speech thing, and with the stuff lately with like the rants that people have sort of responded to, that all came from I give credit to Donald Trump because he likes to call people names. He that's how he got elected. He likes to give people nicknames. He gave Hillary Clinton a nickname. He gave Obama nicknames. He's always giving people nicknames. So I like to give him nicknames and his whole crew nicknames. And that whole thing and the cursing, and that's just I give that to him, and but he gets no commission off of what I make from doing that. So.
I don't feel like he needs a commission.
No, but I'm just letting you know. And you're not firing me. You're not firing me. Sloppy Sarah Huckabee, she not firing me. They got nothing. They can't. I'm untouchable with them. I
love it. I love it.
You shouldn't. Yeah,
No.
exactly. Don't tempt them, Mike.
In regards to that part of my life, but I pay all my taxes early.
So you can't go get them on that. Like they're gonna have to find something else.
Yeah, they're gonna find. No, that's cool. It's cool. Anyway, so I'm glad to be here with you guys.
You guys were in a fantasy league together.
We're in one
last?
again.
Oh,
Oh,
you
no, I'm
are
a fucking champ. Like, I mean, it's not like we're not in the league together.
We're in the league together. You won last year.
You play in that league, but I won it.
Last year.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was the first year of the league.
That was the first year league.
Yeah.
You won. I think I came in third or fourth.
No.
Yes, I didn't get. No, I'm always competitive. And by the way, I took my dissertation. I'm now a senior fantasy football analyst. So when you acknowledge me, please do that as a guest of the show. Like I would like to be called by that. Like I am a senior fantasy
You don't have
football.
no rings, bro.
No, I have no rings.
See, that's how you know that.
But CC, check this out. I'm coming on your podcast to let you know this. Number one, I'm gonna beat you head up this year in that league, and I'm going to beat you in the league, and I issue a challenge, not for the money, for the honey, all season long in
FanDuel, DraftKings.
DraftKings
every
all
week.
$5 games.
Every week, let's do it. I'm
$5
ready.
games.
I'm ready.
You want this? You bring your GM, bring your cousin, bring Ron Guidry, bring Goose Gossage, bring anybody you need to bring out of the bullpen to follow your lineup. And Ruko, if you want this work, you can come get it too.
I might have to
But
go
I
get
want
it too.
you.
I
You
might-
play daily, Ruko?
I've never played it.
You do fantasy though, right?
All the time, yeah.
Okay.
I'm in 3 leagues.
Okay.
But that's how Michael and I bonded, though. Like, he was just getting into this stuff, and he was like, yo, I think this fantasy world is going to be kind of dope, man. I kind of like this.
I love it.
It's incredible,
But
man.
when he started, though,
Yeah, that's when I first
But it was
started.
your
I didn't know
son who
I
was
didn't know
running
what
your
I
stuff.
literally didn't know
Yeah.
anything about it.
it's so addictive, though. But it makes you care about games you would have,
It made me a bigger fan of the NFL
Me
just
too.
because when the Raiders weren't that good, I
Right.
had something to look forward to, like my fantasy team, the daily shit. So
Right.
it like changed the way I watch football. I'm like a huge fan of every team.
Me too.
I mean, I'm a big Raider fan. Obviously, that's my team, but I watch all the teams and all the games now just because I love it. It's crazy.
It changed my whole thing with football. It
Yeah.
reinvigorated my love for football because you could be like the Giants, or this game. Now you watch the whole landscape of the league. I
You kind
love
of know your stuff now. Not as well as CeCe, clearly, who beat you in the league last year. I think you're going to be a little disappointed with that bet you just made with CeCe.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm gonna crack his ass. I'm gonna beat his ass. Seriously.
This same shit all last year until I won the chip.
Were you on a group text with this?
Oh, yeah.
I
got
call
the
him.
group
I
chat.
call him like he'll be like, yo,
called
I'm
me
in
the night before the
Cleveland.
draft. He called me this
He's
year
like-
before the draft.
He's like, I'm getting ready to go. I got a game. I'm in Cleveland. I don't give a shit where you are. I wouldn't be worried about the game. You got that under control. What you don't have under control is what's coming at you all weekend long. That you have no control of. When you're on the mound, you're good to go. That's
man.
like a safety blanket. So I let him know that, and I
love it.
called him the night before the draft too, and he's like, "What the fuck? I'm getting ready. I'm on a plane." Like, yo, be worried about me. Be very worried.
You're lucky CeCe's the way he is as a pitcher. Some of these dudes, they would throw off their whole day, man. Like, pitchers are they're crazy creatures of habit.
The day you pitch, guys, sometimes you can't talk to guys sometimes.
Who out of all your career or guys you've come across on teams or not teams, like who do you know for sure is like the weirdest one or most intense?
Like on the day that you pitch?
rigid about it.
Andy was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like what was his
Andy
deal?
Pettit.
Everything was timed. So he had to be like in the hot tub at a certain time. You can't be around him. And when he was in his space, like you don't want to go around and like mess with him. But he was a great guy like every other day, every day besides the day he pitched. So it made it a little awkward and weird, you know what I'm saying? Because you're like, oh, you can't talk to Andy the day he's pitching.
It's almost like a totally different personality. It's like a
It's lot of guys
schizophrenic
like
type
that,
thing.
You know what I mean? For me, I can't do that though. I have
just
to be
yourself?
I have to be loose, man. If I get like too amped up and start worrying, put my headphones on, worry about the game, then I'll go out there and try to run the ball to the plate. You know what I'm saying? So
That's why he comes out to
man.
Big Papa, because
Yeah,
it's like
just
it
chill.
just like chills him out.
And I
man.
like my infield to talk. I like my third baseman to talk a lot. Didi talks to me a lot. Castro.
What kind of stuff are they saying to you?
We just talk about everything. Like we just
In the game?
yeah.
Really?
Just really talking. Yeah. Like stuff that goes on. I'm always giving them props of ground balls and stuff. It's fun out there when I'm out there. Todd Frazier is great.
Is he?
Oh
Yeah.
man, we have good conversations
Now
out
I
there.
saw they did this thing with Todd Frazier, who they acquired at the trade deadline, third baseman, who's playing really well. He's way better defensively than I realized. He
Great.
could pick it over there.
Yeah, he's great.
But now he's hitting some home runs too. But what'd you guys do with him the other day? Like you made all these blankets
Oh,
for him or
man.
something
So
like that?
About a week ago, I found this website, shoptoddfrazier.com. It's got pillows and blankets and bibs and all kind of shit on there.
Of just him?
Of just him, like
That's
action
funny.
pictures.
That's
of him.
funny.
So I bought 50 pillows and 50 blankets. and put one on everybody's chair in
That's
the plane.
funny.
It was great.
Wait, so the shop already existed?
ShopTopFrazier.com.
Who made
I
this?
have no idea.
Does
He
he
probably
know?
did. He probably getting money off that. You can't just. It's Major League Baseball right there.
He probably made a lot more after
It was some
CC
good
made that
blankets and
purchase.
stuff too, though. It was
Oh
good.
my
He got
gosh,
a
man.
little
It worked
10%,
out good.
15%, 60-40 split off that.
Yo, he's hilarious, man.
Is
He's
he?
great to be around. Yeah.
I kind of know, like, just the first couple days he was in the clubhouse, just being around him, I was like, he's gregarious. Like, he's got a big personality. He's like coming right to you. That's not easy to come to a team that's doing well middle of the season and be like kind of a voice or a leader or whatever he might
Yeah, he's
be.
a Jersey guy. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? This is his home, so it's fun to see him out there.
See, Mike, I think we kind of like we missed the boat not being on team, so we can't do fun shit like that. Like, you know,
I
those
know.
kind of pranks and stuff.
I
like
know.
that. I feel like you
miss
would be
that.
great at that.
I would love it. I would love it. I like that whole. You know, I got to experience it slightly, although I was not part of the team, but I felt like I was part of the team with the big three this
I was
summer.
getting ready to ask you that. Yeah.
And that was the thing that I think the guys had the most fun with, because you know, like when you hear athletes retire, they say, "Well, you missed the guys, you missed the guys." Those guys talked about like having that experience, and I got it, because it's like, you know, you as a professional athlete, as an actor too. I mean, if you don't have a real job, you don't have a real job.
No.
We're not 9 to 5. You have this thing where you never really have to truly grow up in a mainstream kind of way.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I had a conversation with the actor Christopher Walken about that, and he was like 60. He was like, I never grew up. I've been doing this my whole life. And I was like, damn. You know, like I understood that. So when you see athletes, especially playing sports, which is kids' games.
It's kids' games.
yeah.
You know, and then you're in there buying blankets and you know, doing all that kind of stuff. You know, I know that the big three dudes, they love to just they're hanging out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, that right. That's probably. I mean, because I don't know how much longer you want to play, but I bet you that's going to be one of those things that's like, damn, like how do you get that back?
Yeah, I mean, you never get that back. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So you have to enjoy it while you a part of it, like, and just roll with it. For me now, it's fun to kind of be like in the middle of it, because I'm the oldest guy. So like all the shit kind of goes through me. So it's a lot of fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what kind of guy is Christopher Walken. The fact that you're just like having this casual
New York,
conversation with
kind
him.
of eccentric, kind of not as anywhere
Kind
near.
of.
Because you see him in a movie, you
People
think he'd be
he's
the
like a vampire.
wackiest dude
What?
ever.
He's
Yeah.
a New York dude.
Yeah.
You know, artist, New York Queens dude. He's a Queens dude. He likes to cook, great sense of humor, bullshit. Like my whole thing with him, because he's so has such. I thought he was going to be weird too, and when I saw how good of a sense of humor he had, I would go out of my way to try to make him laugh, and he would laugh. You know, he'd laugh, and you never see.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a real Christopher Walken.
So what
laugh.
about like a movie sets? Is the same with like that kind of camaraderie and stuff? Like
if
when you
it's
shoot,
good.
yeah.
If it's good, you know, it's like you know, a culture of winning. You know, you're on good teams, you're on bad teams. You got rotten apples. You got coaches you like, coaches you don't like.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a movie set. Like sometimes there's a flow, sometimes there's a dynamic, and it's not just the actors; it's the whole sort of groove. Obviously, the actors are, you know, the stars, and the directors are the stars. But if that culture, if that sort of chemistry isn't there, it takes away from the fun. You might even wind up doing something good, but it takes away from the day-to-day, like looking forward to going to work.
And that's like an everyday thing too when you're shooting a movie, right? Kind of like it's every day for however many months,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
How long is
You
your
would
like
want that to be
typical
fun.
movie?
I mean, it depends. You know, 3 months. Like the big movies are like 3 months. TV shows, like a season is like 3 months, 3.5 months. Could be 4 months. And you know, you're with the people, and
That's
you
a
want
long
to be able to.
time.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's what I'm saying. So you would want it to be like a good environment when you 3-4 months out of the year. Like for us, it's 9 months. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right, you have
So-
to get along,
So you
otherwise,
have
yeah.
to have a good culture and good clubhouse, or else it's going to be miserable. you
Yeah,
know?
man.
And that's where they say like a culture of winning. Like there's just an environment, right?
Yeah. Or even just like the clubhouse chemistry. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been on some good teams that had bad chemistry that you can't win. And I've been on some decent teams with great chemistry that win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it makes when everybody's pulling for each other, you having fun, like it makes a huge difference because you all going the same way. You know what I mean?
I feel like I remember when you were deciding to come to the Yankees, that was something that,
That was a
reported.
big thing.
You
That was-
asked Cash
That
about,
was very
right?
important for me because coming from Cleveland, like that's what we built our team around was the clubhouse culture.
Yeah.
You know, like the performance came secondary. So like for me, that's what I was a big thing I was worried about coming here.
You're making sure everybody gets along.
Make sure everything was cool.
That's
man.
right. Now, you know, here's the thing. You have some, like, you've kind of built this now sports personality
Yeah.
part of your of your life. I mean, you were Michael Rapaport, the actor,
Yeah.
forever, and you still act a lot.
Yeah.
But now it's like, Cece, I know you've seen, like, we watch Michael doing these hilarious videos about a lot. Most of it's sports stuff.
But
He's
he
coming on
knows what
shows.
he's talking about, though. This shit is hilarious because you're spot on every time, bro. It's hilarious, man.
I'm such a fan. I grew up a fan, and I never not wanted to be a fan. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. That's reality.
Yeah.
That was my goal. That was like, probably, the way CC, like, I don't know, but like, I lived my life accordingly to be a professional basketball player. Now, obviously, that's the end of the similarities me and CC have as athletes. But like, that was my thing. But before basketball, it was the 70s Yankees. It was Reggie, Greg Nettles, Mickey Rivers, and Chris Chambliss. Like, those are my dudes. Like, baseball, basketball. Like, so I've always been a fan. I'm not a baseball guy now, but like football and like, but basketball, football, boxing. Like, I'm a fan of that. So when I started doing, like, when I showed up at ESPN, like, to promote something, and I was talking, and then come to promote when you were doing the radio with Rothenberg. Like, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And, I have such respect for athletes and what it takes to be an athlete, and the discipline and the luck and the
luck.
The magic crystal, that you get to have this, like, 1 in a million thing. I mean, I think it's even, I don't know the numbers of it, but it's like, it's similar, like, I imagine, to being an actor. It's like, so many people want to do this thing, and then so very few get to do it. So I just have such respect for it, and as I've gotten older, have the opportunity to do those shows. I love it so much, and I know what I know what I don't know, and I never try to analyze the analysts.
Right.
Because I see a lot of, like, actors, they go in there, they try to, like, the stats, it's like, yo, I can't do that versus
An
Ryan
analyst,
Ruocco.
yeah, just do what you do. Just know what you know, right?
And
yeah.
you don't have them not sit there trying to, like, well, this happened and the stats. And I think the whole stat culture in sports.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to hear what you guys think, because you have to give it, because
He has to know the numbers.
Yeah.
you have to
I
know the
do.
numbers,
Yeah.
And then you're one of the people who
I'm like, fuck the numbers.
broken
That
down based
don't
on
make
the
a difference to me. You know what I'm saying?
and when like now, like with basketball, every year some fucking genius who probably can't make 10 out of 10 free throws any day of his life, which is essential if you talk shit about basketball, you need to be able to go every day. You should be able to hit 10 in a row free throws at 1 of 5 attempts.
Yes.
Do that before you open your mouth.
I don't want to hear shit. Like, I want to see you do 10 out of 10 free throws. Can you do a jump hook with your left hand and a jump hook with your right hand? I don't give a fuck what kind of number crunching Google Encyclopedia Britannica motherfucker you are. Like, what do you know?
I don't feel like numbers really work in basketball. You know what I'm saying?
But-
Like the stat shit. I don't really get it for basketball.
In baseball,
I
they
kind of
work
get
so
it.
much more. It's
Do
weird.
they?
How
Yeah.
They do.
I don't know if they work. I mean,
But it's different, right? Like, it's so what I always say about this is there's got to be some sort of blend of a relationship, right? It can't be one
Right.
or the other.
Yeah.
Vin Scully used to always have this quote, and I thought it was great. Long time, obviously, Hall of Fame Dodgers broadcaster who just retired last year. He'd say, use stats as a drunk uses a lamppost for support, not illumination.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because it's like, okay, don't, like, I'm watching CC pitch every time out. I've watched him pitch for a decade and a half. Like, don't give me some number and try and, like, illuminate something for me. No, give me some number that supports what I'm seeing. For example, just to stroke CC's ego, because, we like to do that here. We like to make him feel good about himself. I look at CC and the Yankees lose. As someone who roots for the Yankees, I feel good when CC's on the mound. I've seen that a long time. Well, guess what? The numbers, they back that up. He's like 8-0 with an ERA of 1 this year.
I don't know nothing about that.
He
You know what
doesn't
I'm
know
saying?
anything
Like,
about
I
that.
just go, I can't do numbers, man. Like, I won't even look up there
At
and
the
see
scoreboard?
No, I won't. Like, not when I'm pitching.
Yeah.
I don't want to see my ERA, how many pitches I got, none of that shit. I'm just, like, locked in one pitch at a time and just go.
Okay.
Numbers are numbers. Like, I don't know how many wins I have in my career. I don't know how many strikeouts. None of that. Like, only time I know that is when somebody tells me.
Right.
I just, like, try to put my head down, grind, and, like, when I'm done, then I'll look at the numbers. You know what I mean? Like,
Have the stats, I'm asking both of you in baseball, because I don't know baseball.
Yeah.
I'm doing but like as far as baseball, have the stats and the stat world, obviously the Moneyball thing, and someone who doesn't know anything about baseball knows about how that affected or changed the way people put together teams. But are they like creating new stats each year in baseball?
it's always new stats.
I don't know how they do this shit.
It's always new stats.
It's unbelievable.
It's so much shit that I don't
I don't
understand
understand
it, man.
how they come up with the time of this
ERA,
shit.
batting average, and all that. Like that's all I know. Like
And
all
the
this
eye
extra
test.
shit, I don't know. Yeah, the eye test. Yeah.
Right, the fucking eye test.
Well,
Sure.
I'll tell you where some of them help, okay? They have some stats now that try and weed out the luck factor, right? So I'll give you one that's become big, and it's like BABIP. That's batting average on balls put in play, okay?
Say it slower.
Yeah. What is that?
BABIP.
Batting average.
On balls put in play, yeah. So, for example, the major league average for a pitcher is like giving up BABIP is like around like 293, something like that. If CC's pitching, okay, and he has, let's say CC has an ERA of 5, which isn't good, there could be a luck factor involved. And one of the things that might show that is the BABIP, because maybe opponents are hitting their BABIP is 360 against you, which means probably all those little bleeders, those dinkers and dunkers, those bloops,
So
they're
it just
landing.
takes the fielding out of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
So it takes the fielders out of it.
You kind of know like where the ball's being hit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like because you might go through a period of time. So that was one thing that happened with like Jake Arrieta, like where he got discovered by the Cubs because they realized like this guy's pitching in bad luck, and then they realized like well if he stops getting bad luck, he could be pretty damn good. Those kind of things I think the stats can help with, but you can't just solely rely on that. Or if you know something about a guy or what he does or his work ethic, about the way he goes about his business or all that, you don't ignore that because you guys aren't robots, right?
But the way you just explained it, they don't explain it to the common folk when they're watching whatever.
Well, they
place
should
they're
hire
watching.
me for that then,
But
right?
the thing is like, you know, like when you're talking to Hubie or Jeff Van
Yeah,
Gundy,
yeah.
Off air,
Yeah.
forget even on air.
Off
Forget
air is
it-
much better.
Okay, so you're talking to Hubie and he's talking about, you know, being around, you know, this player, that player in 73. He's not like, oh, well, when I coached Bernard King, he da-da-da-da-da-da, rattle off these numbers. He's giving you concrete stories
Yeah.
that you could re-articulate because, and he's painting a picture. He was there, like, this number shit that's being put in front of us in baseball.
Baseball the most.
Definitely.
Basketball, but basketball, I see like these new stats. Like I can't remember the shit.
PER or
The basketball, they were coming up with this shit. Like I don't even pay attention to it. I don't even fucking pay attention. But like I think it was like in the last 2 or 3 years with Steph Curry. Like they're like there's like when he leaves the league. They're gonna have the Steph Curry stats. How long he dribbles the ball and how many times he dribbles the ball to the teams. Like I don't give a. Did they win the fucking game? You know what? When they won the 70 games, the fucking stats made a fucking difference. And last year, you know, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, did you win the fucking game or did you not win the fucking game? Fantasy sports, it's different.
Fantasy sports is different. We
all
need the numbers.
stats.
Yeah, it's all,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
It's all stats, and then
Yeah.
it kind of helps you. But you know, I think for me, in regards to fantasy, and you know, in regards to fantasy, like I
Yeah.
have my fantasy brain, and then my regular football watching brain.
yeah.
That's
you know-
how I am too. Like if I had the first pick in one of my drafts, and I took Le'Veon Bell, everybody's taking David Johnson because he had better numbers. But for me, like watching, I like Le'Veon Bell. That's my guy.
That
You know
worked
what I'm
out for you
saying?
with David Johnson hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
See, like I told you.
But I like Le'Veon. I mean,
I love him too.
But I mean, he's gonna have a slow start because he didn't go to camp and shit. But
I
he'll
love
be fine,
Le'Veon.
though. He's a beast, man.
He's my fantasy football vessel.
He's a beast.
Because my first year, when I didn't know shit about fantasy, it was his second year. My son and his friend picked him, and that was the year he had his breakout year. So I'll always like.
That's always your
He's
guy.
your guy.
I'll
He's your
always-
guy.
Like, if I met him, I'd be like, oh, "Yo, you're my fucking." Like I feel like he's like part of my family.
Yo, that's how I feel about Antoine Walker, man. Because I know that sounds strange, but when I was in when I was sophomore of high school, I did this fantasy league. It was the greatest site I've ever done fantasy on in my life. It was called sports.ws. And they would it was some messed up stuff, man, because they would do these like recaps and these controversial stories about the owners. Like the website just generated it
That's
through its
fun.
algorithm
About
or whatever.
the fantasy
about
owners?
us,
Fantasy owners?
about the fantasy
I
owners.
like that.
And it would be like you know, let's say my friend Al, like it would be like Al has been suspended for 2 games after cocaine was found in his car. Like what? Like
Oh, it's not real, or
no, none of this is real. None of this is real.
I
But
like that criticizing the owners. That
Exactly.
shit's funny.
They would come up with
Yeah.
so it would be like messed up stuff, man. They would come up, but Antoine Walker was like the linchpin of my dominant. I had Kobe, Pierce, Walker, and Duncan, and Kwame Brown was just like he was my guy for the
Kwame
ride. Yeah.
Brown.
He was the guy. He was my guy for the ride, man. But I'll always love Antoine because of that. Like you know, you
Yeah.
get
You
that
locked
connection.
into him. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
your
become
guy.
like you like your highs and lows are fed through them.
Yeah.
They really are. Now, I feel like I've gotten to see like Mike as just a straight sports fan too, because he over the last couple of years has become a huge Warriors fan. You know, Cece's a big Warriors
You're a
fan.
Warriors
Yeah,
fan,
you love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
And Mike was calling me 2 years ago when they started to blow it, and he's like, "Right, tell me this is going to be okay. Tell me this is going to be okay." I'm like, I'm worried. I can't deal with this, man. I can't deal with this.
It kind of like
Once Draymond
snowballed
got
on them. You
suspended.
know what I mean? Like when Draymond got suspended. And they
For
had
doing nothing.
And then they had the problem in Cleveland with the fans, and his wife was Steph's wife was tweeting, and
Oh,
it got to
right.
be too much. I felt like
The
you know
pressure
what I'm
was
saying?
too much.
It got to be too much.
Yeah,
man,
it was too much.
at that time.
It was
and
too
then Draymond
much.
got suspended. So
The Draymond suspension was bull.
yeah, that was trash.
Shit.
That was trash.
It was bullshit.
Yeah.
And that was LeBron James throwing around his star power to get that done. He didn't even know that he tried to kick him until afterwards.
after the
when he
game.
Twitter
saw the
caught
tape.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
He didn't know. He didn't even realize it. Because if
He
somebody
knocked
kicks
him,
you,
he was the one who messed with Draymond first in that
right?
interaction.
Yeah,
kind
the
of like
whole
knocked
thing.
him down,
Yes.
stepped over him, whatever.
He stepped over him,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then Draymond was getting up
Yeah.
and kind of kicked him. Whatever.
but
Yeah.
he didn't connect.
He didn't kick him. Nah, but
But
No, he
Draymond's
did
got to
kinda
cut the
backhand.
kicking
yeah, you
shit.
gotta
It's
cut
enough.
That. For like him, especially with all eyes on him, like you got to cut that shit out.
He's
You
too
know what I'm
good.
saying?
He's
Yeah.
too good. He doesn't need it, and it's not just Draymond just being Draymond. I love that dude, but it's like you're coming. He came close to the edge even this year.
Yeah.
I mean they had it, but it's like you could still be you and not do that. If I
And
could
not
come
lose
on,
games or not cost us games. You know what I'm saying? Like he shouldn't be costing the team games.
Is it easy when you're in the middle as an athlete in the heat of that moment to know, like, okay, this is the line I can't cross?
It's not. But
Yeah.
like going in, you have to know that line.
Yeah.
Like what you are, like how you play the game. You have to set boundaries before the game. You know what I'm saying? Before you go out there to know. But when you're in the moment, like when I'm out there and something happens and I'm like cussing and doing all that shit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like it just happened.
You definitely, between the Warriors, Cavs videos you've done.
But Knicks fan, like you're a Knicks fan.
I'm
Yeah.
a Knicks fan, but
But
I
he
have a
likes the
Knicks
Warriors.
ban. I ban the Knicks. I'm literally banning the Knicks for the next year until Charles Oakley is allowed back in the Garden.
And that's how I was about the Lakers, but everybody gave me shit.
That's true.
What?
I was filling in Mike a little bit.
I shut the Lakers down.
Because of what?
When Shaq left.
Okay,
I chose Shaq.
I hear you.
It was Shaq or Kobe, and I chose Shaq. I left when he left.
So you're a bandwagon fan.
How was that bandwagon?
You're a bandwagon fan. See,
How was that
I'm a Knicks
bandwagon?
fan, but I was like, I'm not going to sit here and like beat my head against the wall and stop
That's
watching
not-
basketball
well,
until the playoffs come.
I had season tickets for the Warriors before. Even when I was a Lakers fan, I had season tickets for the Warriors because I lived up there. I went to a lot of games when Baron Davis was there, Steven Jackson, Al Harrington. I was a part of that.
Corey Maggette.
Corey Maggette was there, yeah, for sure. I was a part of that. So when Shaq left the Lakers, I left too. Became
Yeah,
a
but
Warriors fan.
you're-
So I was that
I see.
bandwagon. I was a Warriors fan before they got good.
Yeah, but you're kind of like I'm surprised with you're talking about because you're like first of all you're like good fuck the Oakland Raiders, they should go to Vegas, and now you're like I was a Lakers fan and I don't even know like, so who's your team, like so what, you were a Miami Heat fan and Shaq is my guy, but I was like and I was glad when he
When
won
he
the ring.
left, I went to the Warriors.
I see.
When he left the Lakers, I went to the Warriors.
Then
got
you were
you.
like hometown.
But I got
now.
a lot of shit for that. I still get shit for this.
Dylan Betances gets on you all the time. For that.
Siegel gets on me fucking every day, all the
That's right.
time.
Our boy Matt Siegel. Mike's a good
Yes,
friend too.
yes. I love the Warriors. I've always had an affinity for the Warriors from the World Be Free days because I used to play ball in the park in New York City when World was still in the NBA. In Brooklyn when he was World Be Free when I was in '82 gave me the nickname Bird. He's like, what the fuck is Larry Bird doing out here after he just got eliminated? So I've always loved, them, and then Bernard King, and then of course my man Chris Mullin, and then the Run TMC
Run
teams,
TMC
and then
teams
the
are
Steven
good.
Jackson, Baron Davis teams. I was at the game when they eliminated.
I was at the game when he dunked on Karolinko.
Oh,
I was at
that
the game when they
was
beat
sick.
Cuban, and then when they beat.
Yeah.
When,
Dallas, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've always fucked with them, and then to see them, emerge and see Steph emerge and.
And then they drafted this team. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? People
exactly.
get pissed off about like what happened last year with KD and all that shit. They drafted the other
Period.
players.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
So it's not like they went and bought this team. They
Nope.
drafted this team and then they got their one fucking free agent.
Yep.
Just so happened to be KD.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
It is what it is.
Yep.
But they put this shit together.
Blame it on LeBron.
They traded Monte Ellis. Remember everybody's pissed about that?
Blame it on LeBron.
Because Monte and Steph couldn't play together. Like
Blame it on
Well, I mean,
LeBron.
if you think
LeBron
about
just
it-
followed KD just followed LeBron James playbook. I got no qualms with KD
At all.
I told him after the game, glad you bust their ass. Do it again next year. Bust their ass the year after that. And if he goes to L.A., bust their ass there.
I feel like, though, when you go to Cleveland, a place CC knows very well from his time with the Indians, I feel like you got to be like public enemy number one.
I need security when I go back.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
When I go back, I will have a security with me.
You gotta have security.
Yeah, I'm gonna have security when I go back. But yo, when I brought the broom to Game 3 of Cleveland, I was just there doing a service. Like, yo, you're gonna get swept. I'm just here to help, motherfucker.
Don't get mad at me.
Yo, I'm just here to clean shit up. Like, yo, we're packing up for the summer. I'm just here with the fuck. Like, why? The question I had when I went to the game with the broom. Why am I the only one with the fucking broom? The whole arena should have had the broom. And obviously they won that one game, and then we had to bring the plunger to Golden State for Game 5 to plunge him right through the sewage system. But I didn't understand why I was the only one with the fucking broom.
Between that and this book, I can't wait till you and LeBron cross paths and what it's going to be like. Because you know this dude hears and sees everything.
Oh, yeah, he hears. I know he hears and sees. He didn't like the broom or the plunger.
And I'm sure he's not going to
What
like
are
the
you
book.
gonna do?
I don't know. What is he going to do?
Yeah, what is he going to do? He brought it on himself.
I don't know what he's going to do. I'm just saying.
But in the book, this book has balls. I break down what turned me against LeBron. The one I've been around athletes. Fortunate.
Is it what I think it is? At the All-Star game?
Yep.
Okay.
What happened at the All-Star game?
I'll save it for the book. October 24th.
I gotta get the book.
I'll tell you, Cece. You got to get the book.
It's beyond the fact
R2C2
that
listeners got to get the book.
It's beyond the fact that he's going to leave the NBA in shambles for the fans. I know he's done a lot. Listen, I know his greatness, and I know he's done a lot for the players and the Players Association. But when he leaves,
amazing.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Great
he's
player.
the MVP every year. Period. You could give it to.
He was the MVP of the finals. He had a triple-double in the
He's
fucking
such a
finals.
beast.
He's sick. But this friends and family, cool kids clique shit that he started is going to be a disease within the NBA long after he leaves. This ganging up, big three, big four bullshit that Dwayne Wade is just a more like.
Did the Celtics not do that first though?
They were not in their prime, CC.
Yeah.
They were not. They were still very viable. But KG was, I think, 13 years in. Ray Allen, I think, was 12 or 13 years in, and they were still good. But they weren't 25 years old in their fucking fertile prime.
Yeah.
Fertile.
And
Fertile.
and it just it fucked the NBA up. And all the kids that grew up loving and idolizing LeBron, they're coming up seeing it. They're going to do it. Look what's happening now with, I don't know what Houston thinks they're going to do with James Harden and Chris Paul. That's going to fucking implode.
They're about to get Melo too, huh?
Can you imagine that bullshit? All three of them, they love the basketball like fucking lollipops. That shit's not going to work.
Also, does D'Antoni really want Melo again?
Melo again,
that's my
right?
thing. Like, does he really
But
want
where else
Melo
would Melo
again?
can Melo go? Melo can't stay here, right?
He's just going to muscle through it out here.
Oh, that's
Unfortunately,
tough.
I fuck with Melo.
He can't stay here.
He can't.
After all that, like, I mean.
Phil left, but
Phil
Melo's still
left,
here.
but damn.
But we're cleaning up with Phil Jackson, the mess that he caused here.
Yeah.
And I talk about Phil in the book.
Oh, do you?
The Bachelor of Montana. Like, it's like the aftermath. Like what he's done since he's left New York.
I feel like this is going to be a good book, man.
You know what? I'll say this. I'm so proud of the book, and the book is bugged out. It's easy to read. You can read it anywhere. You could start anywhere. It's just chapters and rants. It's tongue in cheek, and it's fun.
You're gonna be doing like late night shows with it and stuff like that.
Hell
too?
yeah.
You have to.
Hell yeah.
Damn,
Hell
man.
yeah. I'm proud of it. It's bugged out. It's funny.
So like if you get ready to do, I don't know if you already have it booked, like where you're gonna be certain dates or whatever, but like let's say you're getting ready to do like I don't know Fallon or Colbert or whatever Seth Meyers. Is that like a like you feel you got like a little spring in your step those days? Is that like a thing for you? Like, damn, I'm going on the Tonight Show tonight. Like
when I go on those shows, like I was just on Colbert, like I go on there to tear shit up. Like I treat it like I'm an MC getting on somebody's track in the '90s. Like I go there to tear shit up. I'm not there to fuck around. I'm not there to play games. I'm there to tear shit up.
My verse is the best verse.
My verse is the best. My verse is the best. My verse is the best verse. I'm the best guest.
Yeah.
I'm there to tear shit up. Like, I respect everybody else, but I'm there to tear shit up. I'm Busta Rhymes coming at the end of scenario.
Okay.
You can put whoever the fuck you want first. Keep me last, because I'm shutting the shit down.
Ooh, I like
don't
that, man.
have me as your first
right
guest.
there.
You know,
I like
you guys
that
definitely have
mindset.
the same like music philosophy too, with like new age rap versus
Yeah.
what do you call it? The skinny genification of
Yeah, mumble rap, skinny genification, skinny gene rap.
yeah.
I don't.
My son is on that heavy now. He's 14.
There's no way to stop
that's
it.
That's all he That's all he listens to. You know what I'm
Kids
saying?
on that too, Mike?
How old are your kids?
They're 17 and 15. I'll say this. One good thing I did as a parent is they know the difference between the skinny jean mumble rap, which some of which is good, and they know the difference between that boom bap funk shit.
Yeah.
And there's a line in between. And for me, like with hip hop, it's like you can't deny funk.
Right.
James Brown, from now until when this planet is gone and they rebuild it, when you listen to James Brown, you're gonna be like, oh shit. I don't give a fuck what you grew up on, what you heard before. You could be Chinese and not speak a lick of English. And when you hear something funky, your mouth is gonna your head is gonna bob. So this skinny jean hip hop shit, we'll see how it ages. Cause I know how the shit that I grew up on aged. It
Great.
aged fucking good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It aged good. So
We still have to listen to that shit now.
Yeah, exactly.
Period. So it's like you know, and I say James Brown because without James Brown, there's not hip hop. But like Tribe Called Quest, Eric B. and Rakim, Gangstar, NWA, DJ Quick. I'm doing all his West Coast Too
Oh,
Short,
yeah,
Too
all
Short.
that shit. Dr. Dre shit, Eminem, Eric B. and Rakim, BDP. That shit doesn't need any explanation. From now until eternity.
Yeah.
We'll see how this bullshit they're doing now, we'll see how it ages. We'll see if it ages well. We'll see if kids when they're 36 will be as adamant
That's what I'm saying.
and passionate as about their music as I know I am now at 47. And I can listen to Sugar Hill Gang Rapper's Delight and still be like, yo, listen to this shit.
Yeah.
And you can too. I don't give a fuck if you're 13 or
love
99.
Yeah.
Like that shit's funky.
Yeah.
Period. So we'll see what happens with the fucking.
I mean, that's a good point. We'll see how it ages, though.
Pretty
We'll
much
see.
nailed exactly how
Yeah.
you feel about
Hey.
all this
Yeah,
stuff, right?
1,000%. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see if your shit is still funky in 20 years from now, and you're not just reminiscing.
With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to a 100-plus website with just one click. Then their powerful technology efficiently matches the right people to your job, better than anyone else.
That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other job sites, ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you, it finds them. In fact, over 80% of jobs posted on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just 24 hours.
No juggling emails or calls to your office. Simply screen, rate, and manage candidates all in one place with ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use dashboard.
Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by businesses of all sizes to find the most qualified job candidates with immediate results.
And right now, my listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/Tribune.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/Tribune. One more time, try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Tribune.
We killed that one.
Dude, you ain't gonna need me soon, man.
Oh,
You
sick.
you are crushing this. And I know you were on Lonzo Ball about the Nas thing, man.
See, I didn't hear none of that.
So
I didn't know- I don't know
explain
what
to CC
happened.
what happened with
Well,
Lonzo Ball.
my whole thing with the Lonzo Ball and LeVar Ball thing, you know, that was just the icing on the cake. But, you know, he said, oh, no one listens to Nas anymore. That's not relevant. That's not hip-hop. And I'm like, you why don't you do something first before you, like, stop? I've never
Yeah.
seen some motherfucking guy as hyped up and talked about, and you haven't done jack shit. And his opinion doesn't mean anything to me. We're talking about a dude who has his own sneakers, and then when everybody's watching him, he doesn't wear them. What kind of fucking, like, yo, that's the mind we're talking about. So when you say Nas is in hip hop, I know you're from Chino Hills also. Don't speak about hip hop. No disrespect to Chino Hills. Don't speak publicly about hip hop. Do your thing. You're young. It's gonna be. But for you to say Nas is in hip hop, that's like saying Reggie Jackson is in baseball or Dominique Wilkins is in NBA. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
This was just recent, too, he said that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
man. Yeah, man.
On
This
top
is
of all the other LeVar Ball shit
see,
we've been dealing
you know-
with for the last 9 months, before anybody has seen anything from these fucking
So, but you
guys.
think he's a good player? I like you. You like
I
him?
think he'll be good. We'll see. But it's like, you know,
You know, but before
What the
all of
fuck,
this,
man?
before this Nas shit, you don't never really hear from the kid. And
And
that's
then-
what I kind of liked about
Right,
it.
he
Is
let
that
his dad do
his
the
dad
thing.
was
Yeah,
doing all the
yeah,
talking,
yeah.
and he was balling.
Yeah,
you know
he
what I'm saying?
was,
So, I mean, I'm excited to kind of see
Most people
what he's going to be. You know,
most people I know who know him actually really like him.
I'm
as
sure
kid.
he's a good kid,
But
but
the
it-
Nas thing where he just should have
that's
gone
out of
there.
control.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's just
yeah.
him being fucking young.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Not
At a
knowing.
certain point, it's like there's just been so much hype and talk about this kid. Yo, whether he's going to be Jason Kidd or the next this or the next that, it just doesn't matter. Like it's like the thing that concerns me as a fan is just Like, are we gonna like this guy's like every game in the summer league was like a fashion show? Is he gonna wear this shoes? Is he gonna wear? Just fucking play ball,
Just
man.
go play, man.
Just like how much, and then like you're speaking about it, but you don't speaking about it, and sometimes you're coy about it, motherfucker. Just play fucking ball, man. You're disrespecting everything that came in front of you, and that's in the NBA right now, and that's why I can't wait till Steph, Dame Lillard, John Wall. They are going to imagine. Lonzo Ball, you got to guard fucking Russell Westbrook. Oh, and you have a fucking freight train coming at you. You're talking all this shit, and your father's not going to be able to fucking say a fucking goddamn word about it.
And you know those guys. That's the problem with what
Russell
the dad's
Westbrook-
doing. He's putting a target on him, so all these guys are going to be like,
You
let me
ca-
show you what this league's really
Kyrie
like.
Irving. I mean, one thing that he's lucky is that Kyrie got traded because he was talking shit about LeBron, talking shit about talking about his LeBron's kids. Like who, like and people
LeVar
like,
was, yeah.
yeah, and like they're like he's a great dad. It's like, we're giving him brownie points for doing what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to be a
Raise
good
your
dad,
son.
but if you're such a great dad, but you're shitting on other people's kids, then whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's like he got lucky because LeBron would have set up Kyrie like, use and abuse.
He still might get IT to do it.
He might.
Oh, he's gonna.
He still might get IT to do
and
it.
Isaiah and LeBron will set him up, pick and roll. He's gonna run through this kid. He's gonna run through this kid. And he's shitting on Shaq. How could you
But see,
shit
that's
on
what
Shaq?
I just don't like the
I don't like it.
disrespect
Me
from the
neither.
younger, even with the rap, like with the rappers. But getting back to that, like just the disrespect for the generation before them. They don't know none of the songs. They don't
And you-
all of that shit matters.
And you
Yeah.
proudly
And-
say, "I don't." What was the one rapper who's like a big fucking dude? He proudly says, "I don't know any Biggie
yeah,
Small
it was
songs."
it was Rich Homie Quan or maybe
No,
Lil,
it wasn't
Lil
him.
Yachty.
Was he the one with the braids?
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
proud that you don't know any
That's what I'm
songs
saying.
about.
Like that's disrespectful to me.
Where
That's
have you
what- that's
been?
what
I know
pisses
you're
me
only
off.
19,
You know what I
but
mean?
you're 19. You don't know any Biggie Small
Yeah,
songs.
that's like me saying I've never seen Ken Griffey Jr. play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
don't
what
say that with
So how the
pride.
fuck did you start rapping then? Like who did you listen to get started?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you can tell nobody.
Exactly.
You can tell nobody. That's why the music is what it is. You can tell he didn't listen to the shit. He probably, no disrespect to him, get your money, but he probably, something's wrong with that kid.
Yeah.
Something is not right with him. I'm happy for him. He's successful. I don't want anybody to step on anybody's money, fuck with count anybody's pockets. I got a nice, but like, you could see, like, you're saying that with pride and joy.
Yeah.
That's like saying you never listen to, like, who's Howard Cosell?
Yeah.
Or
No.
who's Vince Scully?
Right,
That's
well,
what I'm saying. Like
Why in hip hop is that acceptable?
honestly,
Yeah,
if I see-
that's the only place it is.
Only in hip hop is it. In any other genre of music, like a jazz musician. Imagine a jazz musician coming out saying, "Oh, I never listened to John Coltrane." Or imagine in baseball, if you show up, be like, "I don't know who Ron Guidry is. You're a Yankee.
How the fuck are you here?
don't know who
Right,
Ron
you
You know what I'm
Guidry
saying?
is?
Like, how did you get here?
Take the
then?
fucking 6 train home, asshole."
Every stop is what happens. You know what though? You're right, man. Like even if you don't know it, even if you aren't a fan, just a little respect for
You
it.
gotta have respect
just a little
for it,
respect
especially
for
the
it.
ones that came before you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
You have to.
Yeah.
But I can understand if you say an obscure group, but to proudly say I don't listen to Wu-Tang and Biggie Smalls.
Well, dude, I would be worried the karma bug's gonna get me then. Like that's what I would be. You say that proudly, all of a sudden it's gonna get you. You're not gonna be in that game long.
You sound nuts though.
You do sound nuts.
You sound nuts, and you obviously don't know who they are. And I don't think it was a put on because your music is trash.
All right, but now CeCe is like the biggest TV guy in the world,
I am
man.
a big TV guy.
So what are your shows right
I
now?
just finished Ozarks. I don't have.
Dude, what did you
anything
think
right
of
now.
Ozarks?
I liked Ozark. It started slow, but it ended. That was ridiculous. The
Okay.
ending.
I gotta watch this. Everyone says
Ozark
it's
was good. I just finished Narcos.
Yeah.
I'm on Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
I like Shades of Blue, bro.
Okay.
With J-Lo. That's a good show.
Yeah, it is a good show. It's good.
I've been kind of off.
It's watered
blacklist.
down.
What, Shades of Blue?
Because it's
too
on
many
NBC,
episodes, yeah.
and also it's like
a lot.
You know, like it's dirty cops and and smut.
If it was on like HBO
Yeah,
or something, that
exactly.
should be great.
And Ray Liotta is so he plays that so well. Like
Yeah.
that's his bread and butter.
yeah,
That-
he's like frantic. on
Yeah.
that shit.
Is
Like,
he?
He's going crazy. Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
That's like his go-to. That's his fastball.
That's his.
him.
thing.
He
Yeah.
does that better than anything.
That's him. Goodfellas, right there, right?
even because in
before that.
Goodfellas he was likable.
Yeah.
Like there's a movie he did called man, I can't remember, but it was like he broke out, and he was it'll come to me. He was
He
nuts.
was that. Yeah, he's nuts in this show, man.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, Shades of Blue is good.
Yeah. What else?
I've got off kind of like the network show. Game of Thrones, obviously.
I don't
See
fuck
the
with.
shirt
I
I'm
don't fuck
rocking
Game
today,
of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, that's
fuck
what
with.
How
I'm
do you
trying
not
to
watch
tell
Game of
Mike
Thrones?
he's got to get
lightning
into
bolts.
it.
I don't fuck with Dungeons. I don't fuck
You
with
don't, so
dragons.
you don't like shit like you don't like Star Wars and shit like that.
I don't fuck with Star Wars.
You're missing out, man. You're missing out.
I'm not with any of that.
Game
Like,
of Thrones is ridiculous.
I don't fuck with
Like,
the
I can't even-
Westeros. I don't give a fuck about the Westeros. I don't do chicks with blonde hair flying on top of dragons. I'm not with any
That
of
was
them.
the
Amelia
greatest
Clarke
scene in
is
TV
hot,
history.
man.
I know. Listen, I know. I'll say this in all due respect. I know I'm in the minority. There's nothing you can do that could click me into Game of Thrones. My wife watches it. I sit there and I just blank out.
So what do you watch? What are your shows?
I mean, I watch my sports. But, my shows now. Let me see.
I just watched that new show, The Deuce, on HBO.
Oh, wow. What did you
I've
think?
heard
Yeah,
it's
the
good.
first
Right?
episode was
Yeah,
good.
I didn't
yeah,
see
yeah.
it yet.
James Franco plays as like a twin.
That's
I got
tough, though.
legit,
Really?
Yeah,
But
but he's good at it though.
He's a good actor, and I know
Yeah.
it looks good. We have to see.
We got.
Well,
I gotta
I
see
was
that one.
worried about it, like how it was gonna
Yeah.
look, but it's good.
I like
I'm into
The
it.
trailer looked great
Yeah,
to me.
I'm
Only
into
one
it.
episode so
It's
far.
only been one episode.
All right, I
yeah.
gotta check that out.
I'm heavy into my housewives. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, he loves
Yeah.
this shit.
heavy.
Oh, God.
I put the Real Housewives up against anything on TV.
But I can only watch Real Housewives of Orange County and Atlanta. I can't watch all the rest of that shit. I can't watch the New York Housewives. I can watch Beverly Hills.
right.
I watch Beverly Hills.
But straight up, a good episode of Housewives is as good.
as anything else, yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
Period.
I love like loving hip hop and
Yeah,
all that shit.
right.
Man,
But
what?
Housewives is the
That's the top of it,
because
right?
and people say this is fake. I'm going to tell you something. Meryl Streep, Marlon Brando, Denzel Washington on their best day couldn't do what these housewives do. I'll tell Denzel to his face. You should aspire to be like Bethany Frankel. You can never pull off what Bethany Frankel does. Meryl Streep, you wish you could do
But
that on the drop of a
The
dime.
Real Housewives of Orange County is the original
They're-
one.
yeah, they're
That's
the-
the first one. They're the
nuts.
OGs.
Which
They're
is-
the,
They're the first
best.
ones.
Which is the one that my friend Farrah Britt is on? Which is that was that Orange County one? Or was that Beverly Hills?
Beverly Hills.
Oh,
Oh,
Beverly
okay.
Hills.
All right,
Beverly
got
Hills.
you. Yeah,
But I love the. But I mean, what other shows? Like I haven't really. Ozarks I liked.
Ozarks was good.
Yeah.
Did you watch Narcos?
I like Narcos. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I watched
the
it.
first two seasons were good. This one was, it was all right.
Yeah, I mean,
But Mike, do you ever watch your own stuff?
no.
You don't.
Never?
I used to watch it all the time, and occasionally, like this show that I'm coming out that's probably be out when this close coming out called White Famous.
Yeah.
On Showtime, I'm gonna watch that because I like the show and the characters is different for me.
It's Jay Farrow and you, right?
Jay Farrow
Ah,
and
but
it's
it's gonna be
Jamie
funny.
Foxx.
Yeah.
It's bugged
Yeah.
out.
Jamie Foxx
It's like
too?
Jamie Foxx is like
produced it.
life, right?
It's not his life. It's kind of loosely based on his what is it?
His
When he
growth?
first came to Los
Okay,
Angeles,
yeah.
and the term white famous came from because he had become he had reached a certain amount of fame, and he was like, fuck that, I want to be white famous. I want to be like Clooney, look, Leonardo. But the scripts were so nuts. And they're so provocative socially and racially, and I just liked the characters in the thing. So I'll watch some of that, but
When does that come out?
October 15th.
Oh, yeah. I'll be on that.
It's bugged out, and I wouldn't tell you it's bugged
Well,
out.
this is how I know it's good. Because, like, Michael, I'm not going to name what projects, but, like, Michael do something, and I'll be like, oh, what are you up to, whatever. He's like, oh, I did this, Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like, it's all right. It's like,
But he's super honest, though,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
he's super
saying? Like,
honest,
yeah.
super honest. Like, and then with this, he was like, yo, there's something to
Jay
this.
Farrow's hilarious, too.
Oh,
He's
dude,
hilarious.
Funny.
Yeah.
and it just plays into the things that he does well. Like I don't want to give it away, and it's truly like there's some things that he does, but there's some things that they wrote and they set him up for where he uses his impressions in a way that's so out there and so bugged out, and socially right now with what's going on in the country, it's gonna trip people out. Like I mean, it's a comedy. It's not like it's not like a
Is it a half-hour show?
half hour,
Okay.
but it's bugged out.
Check
How many
this out.
episodes?
10.
Oh, nice.
10.
Oh, we're
First
definitely
season.
checking it
That's
out.
perfect.
It's
Yeah.
good. The same writer who did Californication. It's
Oh, I
okay.
love
Oh, yeah,
Californication,
Californication's a
man.
good show.
Oh,
it's
dude,
dope.
Courtney
And some of
was-
the characters bleed. A couple of characters show up from Californication.
Really?
It's bugged
Ooh,
out.
dude,
it's,
I gotta
it's a-
see that.
It's a
Yeah.
fun show.
I got to see that for sure. Like, it's funny because one of my favorite movies is Beautiful Girls, which is one of Michael's early movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I could tell, like, he say he doesn't usually watch this stuff. Like, if I bring it up, he just like, he wants to move on. Like you're not comfortable when people
I
talk
love
about
you to-
your stuff.
No, I'm not. I don't want to talk about my stuff.
You never like
I'll
to.
talk about
It's
other
interesting.
people
Yeah,
that I worked with.
Yeah.
But I don't.
And what do you always tell? Michael always tells me about that. Most attractive woman he's ever been on set with.
Yes,
Uma Thurman
at
during
the time
Beautiful
in her
Girls.
prime. she was like a freaky Amazon supermodel actress. Right after Pulp Fiction, she was tall. She was just like, she was so beautiful. You know, you were just like, it wasn't even like I was attracted. I was just like, you know, you just like, yo, check her out. And also, she had just come off of Pulp Fiction where she killed it.
Yeah.
And she was just in that sweet spot where she was like, she was in her, I don't want to say she's going to have a long career ahead of her, but like it just is like in her prime as a star.
Yeah.
She was just, she killed it. And so it was like she had that star factor, and she just, the way she looked, you were just like, and then I had like these scenes with her, like I'm kissing her and like dancing with her. And I was young. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
But so like, yeah.
Was that intimidating a little bit though?
That
like,
her it was.
Yeah.
Her it was. Because also she's kind of aloof in general. So like, you know, and just how I treated her with that kind of like, it'd be like, you know, if you were hanging around any picture that you loved, you know, like I was like, yo, this is bugged out, because I love Pulp Fiction was such a.
It was incredible.
And when it was right on the heels of that, so you're like kind of looking at it like, yo, what is this shit here? You know.
What about when you got like that kind of thing though? When you have to make out with another actress like that?
I haven't had any real intense like sex scenes. So, like, you know, at first. It's like, oh, this is going to be cool. But it's such a technical process. Like kissing, even if you're just kissing somebody on screen, or, you know, if it's sex, it's such a technical thing.
And so many takes, too, huh?
The takes and the lighting, and put your head on this side, put your head on that side. You know, don't do this. You're blocking her. Don't mess up her hair. Oh, you got lipstick on your face. Oh, shit. You know, cut. You got lipstick on. You know, it's not what it's cracked up to be. Now, I've never had like, you know, like a toe to toe with like J-Lo or something like that. But even J-Lo will tell you at the, you know, after like the first sort of thing, it's like it's literally like doing a fight scene.
Yeah.
Having a sex scene or a makeout scene is as aggravating, as annoying as doing like a stunt scene. And I can't stand stunt scenes.
No?
Oh shit, with the punching and did it hit? Did it not hit? This fucking guy Jay Farrell, he like punched me in my fucking nose on those Center White Famous. Yeah, man, I was like, you know, and you know, so it's like people get hurt, you bang your elbow. It's just like did you get it? Let's move on.
Let's move on from this bullshit.
Done, man. It's, you know, it's like,
so there's no romance in this.
hell, there's no romance and there's no tough guys in when you're making, you know, action, you know, like
I can't
fight
wait
scenes.
to see.
Where'd
like,
you guys
that
shoot
scene.
this show at?
LA.
The White Famous?
LA.
LA, okay.
It's kind of a mix between like Atlanta and Entourage-ish. It has it deals with show business, but it's just, even the title, in my opinion, like I'm surprised like there was no backlash over the title because of the climate that we're living in. Yeah. Because when they explained it in the show what the title, where it comes from eventually, but
I remember Jamie Foxx in one of his stand-ups talked about being white famous.
Right.
Oh yeah,
and that's where
he's a talented dude, man.
I saw him
talented.
on New Year's Eve one year. I don't know when it was, but he did 2.5 hours of stand-up comedy. Then he did an hour and a half of the Ray. Like, it was incredible how much, like, he did a concert and a comedy show, like, in one night.
That guy
is incredible,
That's
man.
unbelievable,
It was so dope, man.
He's
It was so dope.
ridiculously talented. Like, he's the type of motherfucker, like, if he comes on this podcast, your tongue will be like, because when he's telling a story, even if he's not doing an impression, but if, like, he was telling a story about me, Michael Rapaport, like, if he was here saying, oh, Rap was on the set, like, he just, without doing it in a shticky way, or like where it's like kind of like a comedian being a comedian, like he'll just become the person, and then he'll come out of being the person. Like I hung around him a few times. Like he was telling Mike Tyson stories, and his impression is different. His impression in his real life isn't the way he does it on stage. Like you're literally like, this guy is like Mike Tyson.
That's Mike Tyson right there.
And
he does Snoop too really good.
Yeah, he does everybody.
He does a good Snoop.
And like the way he paints a picture of a story, you should get him on this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That motherfucker is one of
Mike, why don't you tell him he should, you know?
Yeah, he'd do it. I mean, he's a cool motherfucker.
He's a cool dude.
And he's just like the talent. Him and Eddie Murphy and Jay Farrell.
Yeah.
Like they have that talent. And Jay
Eddie Murphy can switch it on like that too. It's like,
I did a movie with him, Metro, and the movie was whack. But the shit that we did that didn't make it into the movie and just the conversations, incredible. He would, I mean, he's a freak.
one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies that nobody ever seen was Showtime, and him and De Niro.
Oh,
that shit is hilarious.
Yeah.
And nobody ever talks about the movie. There's some great lines in that movie, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dude,
funny.
I feel like also like when the SNL thing came up a couple years ago, Eddie like of everybody, right? He was the one who everyone was like universally like, yo, that guy's just got it.
He's a freak talent.
Yeah.
Freak talent. I mean, even what like if you look at like the Clumps and the Coming to America scenes when he's doing those things, like he's a freak talent, like a freak talent.
Now,
Fox is the same type of shit. Like he could sing, like literally he could have a career just as a singer,
right?
Dramatic actor, comedic actor. A comedian, impressions, like that's like fucking talent.
Yeah.
Where you just the talent.
He could basically do anything. You know
100%.
what I'm saying? To entertain you.
Not that good at ball. I'll tell you to your face. Fox, I will tell Jamie to his face.
Yeah, let's hear this.
That motherfucker doesn't like to pass. Rude with the ball. Like, yo, I'm open, my man. And I fuck with Jamie. Like, yo, I'm right here. Give me the fucking rock.
Where are you playing with him?
I was about to say, you hoop a lot?
I don't play as much. I used to play him. They had this celebrity league every Sunday in LA, so you could just imagine the quality of ball was shit. And you got a bunch of dudes who think they could play and they can't play. But Fox is one of the dudes who like, yo, I'm open. I remember actually playing with Jamie the morning of the Oscars, the night he was nominated for Ray.
Oh, damn.
He was there, and I was like, yo, he's fucking here playing ball. He probably wanted to chill, but he played ball. And if you got nominated for Best Actor for Ray, that day you're definitely not passing the fucking.
Nah, he locked in. He pulling every fucking
We're
thing
playing
up.
5-on-5. We're not talking about 3-on-3 where I'm talking about like you're disrespectful to everybody out here. I know you're gonna win the Oscar tonight, but like I am fucking
wide open.
Wide open. Like I'm fucking cherry picking just to see if you'll pass me the ball.
Let me tell you
man.
something. When you're nominated for the Oscar, you ain't passing on
You
that
ain't
day.
passing
either.
Yeah,
shit.
I get it. But.
Now the book you're doing,
Yup.
with sports arguments, like
Yup.
what? How is that going to be structured? Because obviously, like I can't see Michael Rapaport like writing a novel unless
No.
it's going to be like.
No.
With a bunch of profanity in the middle of it.
No.
Like what? It's like arguments, right? It's sports arguments.
It's not arguments. The name of the book is This Book Has Balls, Sports Rants from the MVP of Talking Trash.
Nice.
And obviously the MVP thing is play on the KD, you're the real MVP. And, I wanted it to be MVP of Talking Shit, but then they, like you want to sell books. but it's just, it's just sort of, it's not arguments. It's tongue-in-cheek ideas, thoughts, arguments, rants about like there's 23 reasons why LeBron will never be like Mike. There's midgets, hookers, pills, midgets, and hookers. The Las Vegas Raiders. What it's going to be like for the Raiders when they go? Because I'm vehemently behind the Raiders staying in Oakland.
No, man.
No,
This is
they
a
should
diehard
be in
Raiders
Oakland.
fan.
They should.
They should not be in fucking Vegas.
Well, listen.
Don't say that.
Okay, listen. They need a new
Do
stadium.
you want to go back home?
They need a new stadium.
I know. I agree.
They are like
Figure it out.
As a fan, it's sad that they're leaving Oakland.
Sad.
It's sad. I mean, I grew up an LA Raider fan.
Right.
They were in LA when I grew up. They
LA
came back
or
when
Oakland,
they came back when I was 14. But that stadium, have you been there?
Yes, I know it's
That
a
place
shithole.
is disgusting.
I know it's a shithole.
No professional athlete should be able to play in that place.
I totally agree.
So
but
we
they
need
should-
a new stadium. So I don't give a fuck if it's on the moon.
I totally agree.
I'm going with them. I'm with them.
I totally agree. But for me as a fan, I have no affiliation with Oakland. I didn't grow up there.
No, it's tough. It's tough.
They're such a. That's like the Yankees
No,
of
that's-
the NFL,
yeah.
like leaving.
It is. They were one of the original teams in the NFL, but man, the stadium situation is so bad.
It's terrible.
there.
They should have been able to
even
figure
going
it out.
as watching as a fan, you
It
it
sucks.
It sucks, man.
the Chargers
and you go to
Stadium-
these different stadiums. You go to Qualcomm is bad too, but
That
if
was
you
a
go
shithole, too.
You go over here to the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
You go to Jerry's World. Like fans want to have a good time at the game.
I
And
agree.
like
You look at some of these new, like Ford
that's
Field in
what I'm
Detroit.
saying. Like,
Oh my gosh,
Minnesota's
man,
new
amazing.
field.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got the Mercedes.
The Atlanta thing. Did you see
Right.
that the other?
Like the
Holy-
Raiders need a new.
I
Like,
totally
we're-
agree.
We're coming out of like the old,
They should figure it
They
out
got-
though.
yeah.
So
No.
so that's just it's just a premonition of what.
What's going to happen
Like,
to them
here's
in
the
Vegas?
deal.
Yeah.
Like if you're a cheerleader, it's notorious that cheerleaders don't get paid a lot of money.
Right.
So if you're a cheerleader working for the Las Vegas Raiders getting $125 to work on a Bruno Mars routine in the third quarter of a game, and then on Monday through Friday, you got, Golden Girl 4 where you can make 5 G's, that's a conflict of interest. And who's going to be your fan base? So that's what that
But
chap.
you're going to be at the games in Vegas.
Hell
You'll go to
no.
some games.
If I'm there,
Guaranteed. Exactly.
maybe one, but I
You'll
mean,
be there.
But I just
You'll be there on the weekend when they're home, and it's going to be crazy, man.
I'm not into it.
It's a good move for them. It sucks.
I can't believe it. Mr. Oakland. Name of his fantasy team is Oakland is. She's saying this shit.
It sucks though. But they need a new stadium.
They need a new stadium. There should be a stadium in Oakland.
There should be a stadium in Oakland, but it's that bad that I don't care if they move.
Dude, is there any chance that this would push Oakland to make a stadium in the hopes that they would eventually come back?
They got the baseball stadium going up in 2023. That's 6 years from now.
Oh man, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's a really long time.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the Raiders are getting good again. They got some young talent. Like it's fresh. The franchise is kind of like reborn.
Oh, they're good, man.
That's what I'm saying.
They're really
they need a good place to fucking play and let fans come watch the game.
They deserve a good place.
I always want.
But you're right. It should be in Oakland, but it's not going to be. So they had to move to Vegas.
I don't like it.
So that's one of the things. But what is the 23 reasons why LeBron? I mean, don't give it all away. We want to buy the book, of course. Mike,
like the 23 reasons, like they have nothing to do with. Well, they have very little to do with winning and losing. I'll say probably like one of the great reasons why he'll never be like Mike LeBron, arguably the greatest player of his generation, right?
Yeah.
The worst sneakers ever. The ugliest, most unsportsmanlike, unbasketball, over-the-top sneakers ever. And the name of the sneakers, instead of being called the LeBron Sixes, they should be called Irony. From LeBron James, the greatest player of all time, makes the worst sneaker of all time. So it's just shit.
They heavy too, man. They got some heavy ass shoes.
4 straps.
He's the only one that can wear them because he's so fucking big and strong.
You gotta be LeBron to wear them.
To put them shits on.
I tried to like walk through Central Park one day with I had to take a cab back, man. I was like, what is this on my foot? But I actually like the design of some of them, but they're heavy, man. They're heavy.
The new one that he just came out with is pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
I call the new one the rubber rooms because it looks like you should be strapped up into a rubber room.
They look like KD's a little bit.
They do look a little like KD's.
KD's got some nice shoes right now.
I like KD's.
I like the 7s, the KD 7s.
The KD 7s
yeah,
are good
I love
too.
those
Paul
too.
George got a nice shoe out right now.
He does, man.
I like Kyrie's shoes.
Kyrie's dope,
shoes
simple
great.
too.
Yeah.
Before we let you get out of here, I got to ask you this. Because we talk sometimes about social media stuff and like how much you're looking at stuff. Because your rants, as evident by this podcast, they contain real strong opinions and are volatile. Your comments and your DMs and everything, it's got to be crazy the stuff you get, man.
Crazy. I'm no idiot to know.
Do you read all that shit though?
I read not all of it. I read a lot of it. The thing that's crazy for me, I'm not an athlete. I don't know what clicks you. But it really kind of came out when I spoke out about Charlottesville and then the Conor McGregor fight, the racial shit. Like I grew up in New York City. I grew up around black, Spanish, Chinese, whatever. And I'm not a tough guy, but I knew better. Like if you call a Chinese guy a certain word, you better be ready to fight. If you call a black guy a certain word, you better be ready to fight. If you call a Puerto Rican guy a certain word, you better be ready to fight. I never call those people a word because that's just, number one, I'm not a tough guy. I wasn't on that fucking racial shit. You call an Italian guy a certain word, you be ready to fight. The shit that comes out of, the racial shit that comes out of people's mouths on Twitter and Instagram, it's a wake-up call to me that like, we're not going forward. And we are trying to make America great again by going backwards into a time where that's acceptable. It's not acceptable. And Twitter and social media is now like the new I had a few beers in me because motherfuckers will say shit on Twitter during 9 a.m. in the morning with coffee in them that they would never say to your face. That's the thing that bothers me. Whether my movies suck, I know anything about sports, I'm boring, I don't give a fuck about any of that. But when you start calling me fucking race traitor, N-word lover, fucking, I'm not even gonna say the words. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is insane. It's insane to me. Like that's the thing. So that's when I go at people when it's that stuff. I don't give a fuck if you talk about my movies. That's silly. That's like hecklers in a game. But when you start going into this racial like shit, I'm like, how do you even think like this?
Yeah,
like you really think like this? And sometimes I'm like, where are you at? Yeah. Like I'll pin you where I am. Where are you at? Because and I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a fighter, but like you're just like, yo, where the fuck are you? Because if I saw you in real life, you'd have stars in your eyes and ask me for a selfie. You'd be batting your eyes at me.
Yeah.
Tony from fucking, Dorchester or this fucker from Kentucky. You'd have fucking little stars in your eyes and ask me for a selfie. And you wouldn't say a fucking peep to me. And I'm sure CC gets the same shit.
I hate selfies, bro. People want to take selfies with me. I hate that shit.
All the time,
But
man.
he's dead on, man. 1,000%.
Crazy.
But
Yeah.
it's
the
true.
racial
When
shit.
the reality is 99% of those people, you engage them in person. and
Never.
I'm your biggest fan or whatever.
You're my
you know?
biggest fan. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. And then they get mad because I'll talk shit back. Like I had like some guy say some crazy shit to me. And he's got a picture of his kid. And I didn't even look at the picture, but I'm like, yo, your kid is cockeyed. And they're like, why would you say something about my kid? Why would you say something? That's fucked up. Fuck you, you little
Fuck
fucking.
you.
And fuck your dog too. Put that fucking dusty ass dog down. That motherfucker is cockeyed too, and the dog is clearly suffering. The dudes who talk the most shit are usually the ones that have like cartoon faces. But if you talk, I'm telling you, if you're listening to this and you talk shit to me and you put a picture of your kid, your wife, your fucking dumb, old ass, limping ass mom, I'm gonna talk shit about all of them. All of them. And don't get mad like I got these people in Boston complaining, he said something about my 3-year-old, because you're talking shit to me in an inappropriate way. Get your fucking daughter some glasses. It's not that expensive. She's cockeyed. Fix her fucking face. Your son is limping. He looks like shit. Don't talk shit on my page and then get offended when I'm talking shit right back. I'm an N-word lover. I'm this. I'm a race trader. And your daughter is Buckeye. Get the fuck out of here.
I think that's where you drop the mic, man. Oh my god!
I gotta make this-
Mike, thank you for doing it.
I'm
man.
glad to do it.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate
doing
it,
man.
CC. I'm going to hit you
good
guys
to
up
see
for
you.
daily
Yeah.
CC.
Yes.
Like, this is all
Yes.
well
And
and
you
good
This
gotta,
is all
now.
we'll
good.
come on I Am Rapaport
For
sometime.
sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Whatever you want.
Now, listen, CC, I just my
Can
final
I
word.
cuss on your podcast?
Of course. I just want to say this. We're heading into a pennant race, and hopefully when this goes up, we'll still be in it. Don't think about me when you're on the mound. Don't think about my fantasy football
I don't need
shit.
to think about
All right, I don't
your
want to
shit.
distract you because I
I'm
know
the
I'm in your DNA
Listen,
right now.
I'm the fucking champ,
Hey,
bro.
I'm just saying, I don't want you when you're out there.
I'm the
ninth
champ.
inning, I don't want you going, oh, fuck, who am I going to set my lineup this week because I'm playing Rapaport. I don't want to, I just don't put that in your head. I don't want to fuck up the baseball shit because we got to kick the fucking
Hey,
Red Sox ass
I'm
this
the
year.
champ, bro.
All right, fair enough.
I'm the champ.
Thanks, Mike.